Hello everybody, welcome and thank you for tuning into our channel, It's All in Your Head. Self-sabotage is a phrase that gets tossed around a lot, but comprehending what people mean by it is often confusing, because most people don't know exactly what it means. In a nutshell, self-sabotage is when, for some reason, unexplainably, we undercut our goals and ideals, often when we're on the verge of great success. There are several ways this can manifest itself in our lives, including procrastination, use of drugs or excessive alcohol, binge or overeating, and personal conflict in relationships, to name a few. This behavior is especially harmful because it typically goes unnoticed while it's happening and until it's too late, or at least well into the pattern. This can lead to the destruction of happiness or success that you've already accomplished or are on the verge of doing so. Although it may appear that self-sabotage occurs from nowhere, it doesn't. It's a cause and effect reaction like so many other things, but much more mysterious. So listen up. In this video, we'll explain it to you all. Self-sabotage, why we do it, and what we could do about it. Of course, don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more entertaining and motivating videos. Reasons we self-sabotage. Number 1, to escape from hurtful things. We occasionally self-sabotage to avoid unpleasant emotions. Perhaps we haven't been trained how to control and process uncomfortable thoughts and feelings, so we do everything we can to suppress them in the present. Many people have a terrible tendency of quitting or destroying otherwise healthy friendships and love relationships. These folks frequently struggle with emotional sensitivity and are frightened of being wounded. Even though it undermines their long-term worth of building meaningful relationships, they end up destroying these same connections as a kind of anxiety alleviation. Number 2, fear of intimacy. When a relationship reaches a particular degree of closeness, people sabotage it. Some individuals cheat, others create arguments or become bossy to push the other away, while others disclose all of their vulnerabilities or become too demanding and clinging. All of these are subliminal ways in which our minds fear becoming imprisoned or shunned if we get too close. Many of these tendencies may be traced back to early connections with caretakers. If you have an insecure attachment, you may unconsciously fear repeating the past. Number 3, lack of self-worth and confidence. You believe you are unfitting for success or pleasure, so you sabotage yourself. Interestingly, some of the most motivated individuals attempt to work hard and aspire high to compensate for a self-imposed sense of inferiority. We cannot attain our objectives if we do not trust in ourselves. Our self-worth is a component of self-confidence. If we continuously convince ourselves that we're not clever enough, competent enough, or friendly enough to get what we desire, we will adjust subconsciously. The things we think about ourselves affects and directly impact how we portray ourselves to the rest of the world. When we lack self-worth, we will do anything to prevent ourselves from reaching our true potential. Your fears are controlling your imagination. It informs you that aiming for something, really desiring something, and not succeeding out would be more embarrassing and destructive than simply burning it all down by yourself. You're like that young child in school who doesn't want to raise their hand if they get the answer incorrect, so you end up not saying anything because you're insecure. All of us have moments of self-doubt, and it may manifest itself in the form of self-sabotage at the most inconvenient of times. This is common in workplaces when people may pitch themselves down for a promotion or neglect a self-advocate. According to a psychiatrist, the patterns established in our first relationships frequently recur in subsequent relationships throughout our lives. We are emotionally tied to these patterns. They have meaning for us and are difficult to let go. If you don't feel encouraged or heard when you ask for what you desired as a youngster, you may find it difficult to communicate successfully in your present relationships. You remain silent to protect yourself from wrath, rejection, and other harmful situations. As a result, you never learn to advocate for your own needs. Although your current circumstance is different from the past, it might be tough to break free from the same detrimental habits. Number 5, fear of failure. When you don't like to fail at your ideal job, in your marriage, or even as a responsible parent, you may unwittingly undermine your attempts to succeed. We are afraid that if we devote everything we have to a goal, it wouldn't be enough. It's far simpler to give yourself justifications for failing than to provide it with your best and still fail genuinely. This is the most compelling cause for self-sabotage. Attempting to prevent failure can fail. You can't fail if you don't strive, right? As a result, your unconscious mind may offer you reasons and methods to sabotage yourself. When we assume that we aren't going to perform very well, that we will lose no matter what, we continue to act in ways that assure our failure. Here's a tip. To overcome this fear, practice what it would be like to face the reality of failure and hardship. This is a complex process that will not be completed overnight. Begin by seeing how it wouldn't be as bad as you're imagining it to be if you experience failure, whether it's a breakup or a missed chance at work. You'll survive. Once you begin to realize that, your fear will begin to subside. Number 6, to seek control. Self-sabotaging actions can sometimes arise as a result of a desire to gain control over a situation. When you're in command, you may feel safe, confident, and ready to confront anything that goes your way. We feel good when we believe we're in control. Acknowledging an adverse event beforehand gives us the illusion of control, even if it's not what we want to occur. When we follow the self-sabotaging thinking pattern, we effectively manage our failure. Specific forms of self-sabotage provide the sensation of control. What you're doing isn't good for your mental health or relationships, but it keeps you in charge when you're feeling anxious. Number 7, fear of success. Aren't you surprised to learn that people are afraid of success? It's accurate, yet our fear of success can lead to self-sabotage. When we've struggled so hard to achieve something, our achievement may sometimes become a source of worry. This frequently occurs when we lack self-confidence. We may be concerned that we're not genuinely qualified or competent and may be revealed as a phony. Because we're afraid of achievement, we participate in behaviors that restrict our achievement. Some of us are afraid of success because we avoid the spotlight or fear that people will desire more from us than we can provide. Instead of confronting the phobia, we often prepare ourselves for failure. When we reach a goal, we may begin to do things that prevent us from attaining that goal. If you're afraid of succeeding in your profession, a business coach can assist. Number 8, to avoid problems. Another manner in which you might self-sabotage is to avoid addressing the problems until they get so large that you have no choice but to deal with them. Or you're unable to control yourself to do things on time. There are numerous possible reasons to avoid self-sabotage via procrastination, keeping up too late, going out with friends, or playing video games instead of working is a frequent practice. You escape the unpleasantness of an anxious or dull and unrewarding activity in the short run. However, in the long run, the things you put off end up biting you back. Avoidance may also be used to refrain from taking responsibility for one's actions. This allows you to blame external issues such as a lack of time for lousy performance rather than recognizing your part in horrible time management. Here's a tip. Getting to know yourself better and figuring out what you want out of life may help you avoid self-sabotage. You must also respect and believe in yourself enough to strive for it. Number 9, worrying about reputation. Self-sabotage might be a side consequence of the nice guy syndrome. Although there is nothing wrong with being a great person and thinking about others, it's something to aspire towards. Many people, however, take this to an entirely new level. Being kind, empathetic, and sincere shouldn't imply self-sacrifice. Making oneself miserable in the name of being kind to others is terrible and destructive. We must treat ourselves with the same love and care that we do for others. Thank you all for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share to stay updated with new content. Keep learning and watching.